Hello and good evening. Happy Sunday to all of you. This is Arlene Connelly-Drummond here, coming to you from the comfort of my space, my relaxed time, and I'm inviting you to join me in this moment. I come to you as the CEO of a consulting company. I'm a mom of an adult child and several other children who are all adults. And so I run a business. I am a wife. I am a friend. I am a consultant. I'm a coach. I wear many hats and I do lots of things. And over the years, especially in the last year and a half, I've been hearing not just a whisper, a knock. And the knock keeps getting louder. And it's a conversation I'm having, and I'm sitting at the foot of God, and I'm hearing him giving me some guidance. And the profound message that I keep hearing over and over the last year and a half has been this. It was a simple word, and the word was stride. STRIDE. And I embraced the word, not fully knowing what it meant, but I've been meditating on it. A simple word, a common word that we hear all the time. But the message that I got in alignment with this word was that we have to change the pace of our movement. Otherwise, we will not endure to the end. That in striding, there's a movement that is intentional, that is focused, that is strategic, and it's aligned with our core values and our sense of purpose. And when we are operating outside of that, we are many times operating from a place of exhaustion. And so, like many of you, doing a lot of things, wearing a lot of hats, we find ourselves stretched, overcommitted, overworked, and many times just going through the motions. Whether we are operating on purpose or out of purpose, or just being busy about our career and our goals and our future, we still find ourselves feeling a little depleted. And I don't know about some of you, but maybe you're recovering or you're joining me today from that place where you've spent the last couple of weeks and then the last 4 days in a hustle, in a rush, grinding, pushing yourself to prepare for the Thanksgiving and the holiday season that is upon us. Yes, today, December 1st. How did we get here so fast? And so time is moving fast, moving quickly. And we are finding ourselves moving in that same pace and speed, trying to get a lot done in the time that we see keeps moving faster than we can execute the task. And so today, I'm inviting you, those who are feeling it, and you're looking for ways to begin to change that pace, adjust, recalibrate, refresh. I started off with, am I going to do a motivation Monday or momentum Monday or, think it Tuesday, and all of this stuff that's already out there. But in alignment with the message that I've been hearing in my spirit, and the journey I'm inviting each of you to join me on is to stride. And in striding, we're going to change the pace of our movement. And so today, I invite you and I welcome you to the first of a series of conversations we will have. And today, thank you for joining me for Slow It Down Sundays. Yes, just take a breath for a minute and just lean into that statement, that message, this time that we are in together. Slow It Down Sundays. I want to talk to you about how that can transform your life. You know, that world that I was talking about, that we're in constant motion, where we find it so easy to be swept away with the endless cycles of responsibilities and commitments and expectations. Yes, that feeling of I'm overworked, overcommitted, and overwhelmed, that weight of exhaustion that I've been talking about, that seems like a badge of honor. And it seems like the luxury of rest, we can't afford it. But can I tell you that us pausing like today, like we're doing right now, how important this is, how essential it is, how necessary it is. So in this space, I invite you to cuddle up on your couch, find your comfy chair, get a cup of coffee, tea, something that's soothing, an adult beverage, whatever it's best for you. But find a way to just take it down several notches. And in order for us to do this, it's going to be a process. It's going to be something that will happen and evolve over time. And I'm going to just break it down to you today about the importance of stillness. And I just want you to know that I'm on the journey with you. I haven't arrived yet. I haven't mastered this yet. I've been working on it. But I can tell you that it is a work that is so important that as busy as my day has been, that this moment right now, to just be with you and to slow it down, to slow down my breath, and to recalibrate, refresh, renew, revive, and just lean in to my thoughts and plan and strategize what my week ahead. This time is so important. And it's not just for you to do by yourself. It is something I think is important for us to do for ourselves. But as we build the habit and as we build this into our lifestyle, I invite you to take time to do and help your children and your family members learn and practice what it means to slow it down, to not be in a rush, to not be in a hustle. I know what it's like when you're trying to get the kids prepared and you're trying to make sure the house is clean and you're trying to check off all the list on your chores and activities. But what it means when we can just slow it down. And so that's what I want to talk to you about today. How we do that. How do we slow it down? How do we find that place of stillness? And so over the next several weeks, we're going to just spend time in this conversation because yes, I'm releasing a new book, and it's called Stride, and it's coming out in 2025. And I'm going to just give you a sneak peek into the development of that book and what journey it has taken me on. And this, what I'm talking to you and what I'm sharing with you right now is part of that process, part of that journey, part of that experience. Because as I've been learning how to slow it down, I get the opportunity to share that with you and invite you for us to do this together. I love when we're able to do life together, when we're able to share in the nuggets and the insights and the wisdom of each other. Because I grow by being surrounded by some great people and great resources and information, tools, and people who will tell me, Arlene, did you slow it down today? Did you take a breath today? Did you do anything for you today? Because in slowing down, it doesn't mean that we stop, but it means that we pause long enough to reset, to recalibrate, to revive and nourish and restore and replenish ourselves so we can show up and be the best version of ourselves for us, but also most importantly for those we love and surround us. So, what do we do to get this done? So one of the first things is to reclaim our time. We have to reclaim our time. Time is the most valuable resource, and how we spend it shapes our lives. And I just want you to check in with yourself and do this. Consider this. When was the last time you took an audit of your time? Take about 15 minutes during maybe this time when you begin to work on your Slow It Down Sundays, and write down all your commitments, all your priorities, all the things that are on your list, that lengthy to-do list that we have, and identify the activities that's on that list that are the things that align with what matters most to us, what we value most, what's most important. And then we'll begin to see, as we begin to identify and remind ourselves what's most important, we will see some things on the list that have been either we've added or others have added for us, or life has just put it in the direction of our things to do, that they're not necessary, the things that are matters most to you. And they may be some things that we should have said no to, or say that not right now, or I'm not available. So we need to do that time audit, because your time is something so valuable that you cannot get back. One of the things that I remember many years ago, I heard in my spirit, give my time an assignment. I'm like, give my time an assignment. Yes, give my time an assignment. And how do I do that? How do I make sure that the things that I'm doing in the time that I have that is so precious, that I'm doing the things that matters most, that are most important to me? So do that. Create some boundaries where you say no to some things because it's not in alignment with your goals. And then decide how you want to feel at the end of each week, at the end of each day. How do you want to feel? Do you want to feel exhausted, depleted, like you don't have any fire left in your spirit to do anything else? So many of us, by the time we get home from our day, however we spent that day, whether we were working from home or we went out to a place of business, whether we're an entrepreneur, whatever we are doing in our professional lives that calls for our attention of time, both mentally, physical, and emotional commitment. How do I want to feel at the end of my week and the end of my day? So do that. Take that time audit and just begin to reflect on how you're using the most precious thing that you have, and that is your time. I'm hoping that I will see some of you in the chat will say and share how that has worked for you when you took a moment to just audit your time, do a time check, and just see, how am I using my 24 hours a day? Because look at how we are almost at the end of our 365 days of 2024. And many of us can say, the time has gone by so fast and I don't know really what I did with it. And then there will be those who says, my time has gone by and a lot have gotten done. And there'll be some of you will say, my time has gone by and I've done a lot of things, but those things do not align with who I am, who I want to be, who I'm becoming, and the things that matters most to me. So I invite you all to do that time audit. And just assess, the next thing I want you to do is assess your productivity. Am I getting a lot done in the time that I have? Because we have so many distractions, so many things going on that is pulling for our attention. How productive are you in your day? How are we using that time? So I'll confess that many times I can find myself distracted by things outside of the areas of assignments or tasks that I prioritized, that I said were important. Whether it may be a phone call, it may be showing up for someone, or it may just be the idle distractions of the various things on our technology that pulls our attention. And when I look around, I may say, where did the time go? Where did the day go? Where did the hour go? There were things that I wanted to accomplish in that time, and the time is just gone. And so it's so important for us to redefine our productivity. What does productivity look like? And that slowing down allows us to restore our energy, to make sure we're having clarity and creativity, which makes us more effective for the long run. And I know many of you, we want to be able to have the long run. When I heard that message about stride and changing the pace of our movement, otherwise we will not endure to the end. We know the culture that we live in, the culture that talks about, we have to hustle and we got to grind and we have to burn the midnight oil and we have to burn the oil on both ends, because if we're not in the hustle, we may not realize the levels of success that we're seeking to achieve. And so I'm challenging that concept, because yes, we may achieve a lot, but many times we lose focus of what matters most in that hustle, in that grind. And so that is part of what I'm calling us to really revisit. Can we do that a little bit differently? So I really want us to use our Sundays as a point of slowing down to check our productivity, work on this time to restore our energy, create that greater sense of clarity, tap into our creativity so that we can be at a greater sense of ourselves for the long run. We want to celebrate rest. How many of you, the times that you take to rest, to slow down, maybe you caught a nap, maybe you slept an extra half an hour, or you took some time to just chill, only to beat up yourself about, oh my gosh, what did I do at the time? And I should not have slept that extra hour, and I should not have done this. And we start shitting on ourselves about what we could have done with that time, when that time that we just took, because it was ours to take, to rest, to rejuvenate, to reset, was necessary. It was important. And it's not a point of guilt, but is a point of celebration. I did that for me. And now I feel a little bit more revived. I feel a little bit more refreshed. I did that for me. So spend a few minutes, take about 10 minutes in your slow it down Sundays time, and just do that reflection on your productivity and how well are you using the time, and how is that time that you assign working for you? Because it may allow you to recalibrate some things, reassign some things, shuffle some things off your plate, right? And we know that anything we try to do differently is going to take time. So I'm encouraging you, as you join me. Hopefully I see you every Sunday during this time. Today being the first Sunday that we're doing this, we may find, and I'll get your feedback. You may say, hey, Sundays at 7 o'clock, Arlene, I would love to check in with you, but I am still too busy getting ready for my week ahead. Call me in or pull me in about 8, 9 o'clock. I'm better that time. And if we need be, and we have enough people giving us that response and feedback, we may adjust the time, because we have to find the rhythm of what works best for us, right? So part of us slowing down gives us that opportunity to reflect and to recalibrate so we can rejuvenate. Does that resonate with you? I hope it does. So we're going to do some small steps, because change doesn't happen overnight, right? So slow it down Sundays. You may only be able to slow it down for 15, 20, 30 minutes. But the pausing to at least give yourself some time, start wherever you can. If you can do 30 minutes to an hour, I say it's 30 minutes to an hour of a gift you're giving to yourself and to everyone that you love. When I hear our children and the world and society talking about the level of anxiety that's on our kids, so many of that also comes from the pace in which our world is moving and things are moving that doesn't allow them enough time for breath. So we have to model that, right? This is a gift we're giving to ourselves and to our children. So begin gradually at a pace that works for you and begin to build. We'll be doing this, right? We'll be using this time to do some journaling, right? This is what you could do in your slow it down. You can even use this time to meal prep. Meal prepping doesn't have to be another arduous chore. It doesn't have to be. It could be something that brings us calm and relaxing because we are putting together things. We play some music. We may have our cup of tea, and we may be just allowing ourselves to enjoy the moments of that activity, right? We may use it as a time to do some journaling, get that journal, and cuddle up in your couch with your favorite blanket or sit in that chair as you look out on the water, whatever works for you, your comfort zone, your comfy place. And if you haven't created a comfortable space for yourself, I encourage you to do that. Create space for peace. Create space for relaxation. Create space to reconnect with yourself. So try that as well. Okay? So I want us to think about how we're going to create some rituals in our Slow It Down Sundays. What are the things that we can reimagine how we do them and how we think about them? I always used to say this message to my daughter. I used to always tell her that the attitude in which we approach a thing impacts the experience. And if I am approaching preparing my kids' meals, or I'm approaching you know, my meal prep, or I'm approaching even preparing dinner or doing that evening walk with your pet. If I am thinking about it like it's just next chore that I have to do, something that I'm obligated. But imagine if I choose to reimagine that and say, you know what, this time that I'm walking my dog is a time for me to take in fresh air, to get a little bit of exercise, to get a little peace of mind, and just be in a moment of thought, as opposed to it being, oh my goodness, I have to walk the dog. As much as you love your pet, can we think about it differently? Food is one of my love languages. So preparing food brings me great joy. I get a lot of pleasure from preparing meals for those that I care about. And so imagine if you would change the thought of preparing meals and make that a joyful experience, something that you can do that is comforting, and how that can change those moments. So slowing it down doesn't just mean that you are sitting in a chair with your tea or your coffee or whatever beverage and just cuddling up and relaxing. While that may be ideal, it may not work. That may not be the way you slow it down. So I really want you to begin to choose to find moments in your life where you're not so much busy with the external factors that are outside of you, but you're leaning a little bit more to tune into the things that matters most to you. And so like for me, if it is that I'm getting to use this time and I'm putting on some nice music and I'm moving to the groove of the music and I'm sipping on my tea and I'm preparing and prepping some meals, that might be my slow it down moment, because I've created a space of joy. So I just want you to encourage you to think about doing that. And one of the things I love about this whole idea of slowing it down Sundays is I don't have to do it alone. I can invite other people to do it with me. It's one of the things I'll invite my husband. I want him to come and join me in slowing it down Sundays because my time with him is precious. I love to do that, right? So I'm encouraging you to you bring in your family and show them and help them practice how to slow it down. You may even make it a family thing. Some of you may already have it where you have a movie night or you have something that you do, you play some games, or you just have time. Do we do this anymore where we're just having conversations with each other, not caught up in our devices, not distracted by outside things, but we're just leaning in and talking to one another? What a concept. Let's do that. Let's just engage in conversation. Slow it down Sundays could be a time where you check in. Check in with your family members. When was the last time you just paused to have dialogue, have conversation? How are you really doing? What was the fun thing you did this week? What was your takeaway from the Thanksgiving gathering? What would you like to see more? What could we do better next year? What are you anxious about or nervous about in school or as you're watching what's going on in your community and the world? Talk, conversation. Let's do that. Let's engage the family and use that time to just deepen our connection. Imagine us spending time. I'm a proponent. I love the times that we can spend sharing a meal together because food is my love language. So could that be a time where you guys are just leaning in and talking? That's a slow it down moment. Playing the games together is a slow it down moment. And just simply engaging in conversation. Slow it down, guys. Slow it down. Create space for connection. That's what this time allows us to do. Connect. Connect with ourselves, connect with each other, connect with the things that matters most. So also, we can connect, especially with a greater sense when we embrace, you hear it all the time, mindfulness and gratitude. In our Slow It Down Sunday time, this is our time where we embrace the concept of our mindset, recalibrating our mindset. How do we embrace the moment? How do we be in the moment and embrace the present? Not rushing to finish this action, this activity, only to move very quickly to the next. Slowing it down and being in that moment, finding time for breath. I posted a couple weeks ago that there are times when I find that I'm not truly breathing, where I'm shallow breathing because I'm in a rush. Slowing it down allows you to find breath. And your breath is important because without it, we have no pulse, guys. Right? So we want to take care of ourselves. So take some time from the rushing and just breathe. Be present in the moment. Lean in and listen while you're in that conversation, right? Actually lean in and listen. So imagine sometimes, don't know if this happened to you, but sometimes people are talking to me and I could find myself already halfway down the block in my thoughts. So am I really listening to them? Probably not. I'm not really tuned in because I'm so preoccupied with my own thoughts, right? So what I'm inviting you to do is to just be in the moment, in the room, in the conversation, and listen and hear what everyone is saying. And you may even find if you lean in and settle in the moment and you're listening to yourself, you may hear the whisper of the Holy Spirit. You may hear the guidance and direction for something that was concerning you. You may hear your thoughts a little bit clearer. You may hear something that the noise of the world has been tuning out so that you couldn't hear. I'm inviting you to be mindful, to be peaceful. Slow It Down Sunday is a transformative opportunity for us to be. And every week, we're going to have different topics that we're going to invite you to marinate on. I am encouraging you, you can share some ideas of topics you would like to hear as well. But we have a series of topics that we're going to be bringing to you every Sunday. In that process, I want you to think about the process of being still. Still, slowing yourself down long enough to breathe, to be, to lean in, to listen, to hear, to feel the beating of your own heart, to lean in and hear the voices of those you love and care about, to listen to the voices of the Holy Spirit as you get guidance, and to pause long enough to slow it down on Sundays. Guys, I'm inviting you all to change the pace of your movement. We are moving and we're going to be striding. So I'm inviting you all to come along with me. We're about to do life differently, operate with a little bit more of intentionality. And just want to share with you as I close, I'll be here and I'll be unpacking for you what stride is all about. We're going to learn about being strategic, tenacious, resilient, innovative, determined individuals. And we're going to see how we are able to endure to the end because we have changed the pace of our movement. So will you join me on Sundays? And let's practice this thing called slow it down. It doesn't mean we're going to stop and be unproductive, but it does mean that we're going to be more intentional about this time and how important it is for us to slow it down so that we can recalibrate, rejuvenate, restore, revive, replenish, release, reset, and renew ourselves for the week ahead. Join me, and I'm so glad I got this time to be with you, and you join me tonight on Slow It Down Sundays. See you next Sunday. Let's do this together. Have a phenomenal week, everyone, and I'll see you. This is Arlene Connelly-Drummond, your stride coach, saying, I'm slowing it down, and I'm inviting you to do it a little bit with me. So let's do this. Let's slow down the pace of our lives so we can endure to the end. We are changing the pace of our movement. And this is a new thing. And we're going to try it and we're going to do this together. So let's go. I'll see you next Sunday. Slow It Down Sundays. Have a great week, everyone. Happy December.